Hello, this video covers the usage of the library databases. This is the third video. This one will be covering the usage of Nexis Uni. To use Nexis Uni, if you're accessing it as an online student from the comfort of your own home, from your school, place of work, or on campus using a personal computer, you'll use Nexis Uni. You will need your library card, which is the back of your student ID. Otherwise, if you're on campus logged into a campus computer, such as I am, you need to click on Nexis Uni for on-campus usage. When you click on this, you'll go to a new window. And again, as I mentioned in the first video, it looks a little different than other search engines. It does have some topics that might be interesting, but I don't know how interested you are in these three. But let's say we're continuing on with the topic. We're looking at cell phone, we'll say addiction. Because, okay, we're interested in that. Is it a real thing? Is it something that's just an old person's made up ailment? Or are there real stuff going on? So we searched up cell phone addiction. Now we learned from the second video from Academic Search that there are other terms. We might say mobile phone or smartphone addiction. We'd have to look these up. Now what you can see is that there are 3,391 search results. That is still a lot to read through, especially since you don't get summaries. It just looks at relevance. So here we have cell phone addiction causes hearing loss and cancer, ENT consultant. Well, that seems kind of extreme, and we could read this study. It's from the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So again, we might want to look for just things in the United States. To do that, we can come over here. We can see there's news, there's law journals, there's cases, legislations, all sorts of stuff, and you can search within the results. There's a timeline you can look at. If you click on this, you'll see, okay, well, people really started worrying about this in early 2000s, it looks like, where it was published. So you can look at some of these things. That will be helpful. California has a lot of them. Interesting. Subject, industry, all sorts of fun stuff. So how do we start? That is a good question here. We need to know some more search terms and some limiters. So I would go into the search within the results. We have cell phone addiction. Maybe you're interested in college students. I'll just say student. Now, I'm not going to plural this, make it students, because that way it looks at student and students, because it looks at just the words. I click on this, it's going to search within the results. It cuts in down by, I guess that's a fourth, just over a fourth, so 800. That's a little bit better. Cell phone addiction in college students. Around the world, around the web, cell phone addiction will only continue to get worse. So this is more recent. So something you can do is click on relevance and go from newest to oldest. See what people are saying right away. I don't know what this has to do with cell phone addiction, but there it is. Oh, addicted to their cell phones. They're addicted to, so this is not necessarily related to what we're looking at. So that's why the benefit of the relevance is useful. So here we have some letters to the editor, and now this is looking at these words individually: students, addicts, cell phones. And it's interesting, it looks at addicts and addiction. So something we might do is search this again with cell phone addiction in quotation. So it's going to search for that exact phrase. Now just searching for the exact phrase gives us less than what we just had, or fewer search results, 559. So that's great. We still get these medical things, students, so we're going to search again in student and see what we get. Now we're down to 154. This is a manageable amount of sources. So this is good. So we've used the limiters, we've used what words it gives us. And I always say start out broad and learn to narrow down your topics. So again, it's by relevance. There's studies. Oh, wait a minute, there's a study. We can look at this. So the University Wire, source in Florida. So this is from 2007, which is interesting. So let's click on this. We're going to get the full text. Now, just like academic search, you're able to do some things to get the information, such as citations and things like that. You used to not have the citation generator. You had to just do this yourself. Now, there isn't really a way to save this like with academic search. You can download it, which is great. You can export it to Google Drive. What I've always done in the past is just I copy it into a Word document and I save it. But we would read this, and it says there's going to be a study, and that's kind of interesting. You probably shouldn't be talking on your cell phone if you're on a date. Right now, it's you're on your date and you're looking at Tinder or whatever people do. So it says it's prompting a study. So that might be very interesting to look at what happened with the study. You find some more information, see if we could find it, and you go into academic search. So this is one of the ways we can use the sources that we have to find new information. So here we have a person's name, Merlot. We should be given the full name at some point. But Lisa Merlot, University of Florida. You could go into academic search. I don't have it up, but I'm sorry I'm taking out. This is exciting for me. Lisa Merlot, University of Florida. Right. We'll type that in. There she is. Now this is methadone. That's something completely different. So we do see that she is an author. She writes about health. So we'll be able to find her studies in here somewhere. I'm sure it's there somewhere. So what I'm going to do is type it in backwards, search for the author. Now we have 67. I wish there was a search within the results. There isn't. So instead, I could probably just type it. Oh, I'll show you this. Advanced search. We have the author. Now we're going to type in cell phone. So I went to advanced search. It doesn't find anything, which stinks. Let me try it backward, the other way. I know I'm way off topic here. So it's not finding anything. So we don't see a published study, which you could probably keep searching and find it. Maybe she says mobile phone. I don't know. So we get Merlot, Lisa. But this is one of the things you can do. I'm way off topic, so I'm sorry about that. But hey, that's what happens when you start looking at things. But anyway, so we have this. You can get some basic information, see where it goes. Now let's say you want to use this. You can do exactly what we did in the previous one. You come here. We want to make sure you click MLA. It's going to change it just slightly. Now this is not, again, 100% correct, but this is pretty darn close. You can copy to your clipboard or just copy it. You pull up your Word document that has your sources, and you click on paste, if it'll let you. So we have that. Now we aren't able to get a summary from it. You could type one up if you really wanted. Sometimes they have one. And then that should be all you really need because the web link is in there. Sometimes, let me see where I can find it. It allows you to email the link to you, but this one, here it is. Link to this page. So now we have a permalink. Each search engine has different. Now this link here should be similar, but it's not. So that's why we have both, because sometimes this link will take you to it as well. That's what you're giving your readers in your paper, so they should be able to find it. So now we have two sources. Now you can keep scrolling through, looking for things. You can play with this timeline and slide it. Well, I'm just interested in cell phone debates from the last 5, 7, 8 years, so that is. And you can update that, and it's going to give you more information. And start looking at some things. What you get in here are shorter articles. You can look at the word count. and may not be as helpful, but it will point you to other things. And that's what we have to look at, is how do we use a source to get us to more information. And that's what's great about LexisNexis, or Nexis Uni as it's now called. You can get some other things there, either law cases, I don't know, but it's really, really interesting. It just takes some time to get used to. So that's a little bit on using Nexis Uni.